And hello, YouTube. Metal Self here. Today, I want to talk about collectivism and my criticism of it. I want to focus today not so much on political or social or economic criticism of collectivism, but a metaphysical one. I know it's strange, but it has to be done. So, collectivism, for those who don't know or are vague about it in the head, is basically the moral, political, and ethical stance that rights, when it comes to rights, identities, outcomes, and goals, the group is favored over the individual. That is, when it comes to what's important in society, the group comes first. The individual is put to the back, maybe not even regarded at all. Some forms of collectivism include communism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and sci-fi utopianism. Where everyone is living in peace and they're all one and they all say the same thing. So, basically the problem I have with this idea is that collectivism is about the idea of a group. And that's just like an idea, man. It's not real. I mean, your body is more real than the idea of a group. I mean, sure, you can say, well, here's all these people here. This is a group of people. But I don't see a single thing. I see individual people. Even if it's a mass, I still see a bunch of heads. I don't see this something that's greater than the sum of its parts, the whole. And I think that is because it doesn't exist. Now, what's interesting is I found this snooping around the internet. This is called nominalism. This is a metaphysical and mathematical view that says that abstract entities like things like society and humanity, the group, strength, these kinds of these so-called entities actually don't exist. They're not entities. That the only thing that is really general about them is that their name. That what makes humanity a general concept is just the name. Hence nominalism, nominal for I think Latin for name. So, but that might be a little extreme. People say, well, there has to be some kind of fucking similarity. If I say humanity, maybe it's like, 2 arms, 2 legs, who walk upright, and and you talk and use language or something. Like, it has to be something like that, right? So, I offer a middle ground because the other side of nominalism, weirdly, is called realism. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Because to me, this should have been called realism, and the other thing probably should have been called nominalism. But whatever. I guess that's how arrogant these people are on the other side. They think they're so real. They call themselves realism. They're like, we're the real ones, and they believe things like humanity and strength and society actually do exist as entities in the world. Now, there's a middle ground, and that middle ground is conceptualism. This is a little bit sophisticated. Here, basically, what they're trying to say is that, well, your psychological makeup is what's to blame. That society or humanity or strength, doohickey thing, that doesn't really exist outside your head, but in your head, it does. And it's like when you look at the clouds and you see, like, faces and stuff, there's not really a face up there, but you see it and you experience it, and it's like, I can look at it. I'm looking at it right now. It's only in your head, though. It's only from your perspective and your specific kinds of background history and whatever, the things that led you up to that moment to see in a particular way. So it's not really there. It's more like an illusion. And that's what this conceptualism is. It exists for you, and you can see it, and you can make it even work for you if you're like a Stalin or a Mao. But what really is just an illusion at the end of the day. Now, this is important because if it's an illusion, that means it can be fabricated. If it's like the general meta-narrative theory of reality and whatnot, that it can be manipulated and changed and warped and used for someone's ends. And who is that person? I think it's the fucking state. Well, not the state, the elite. Because, throughout history, all the major wars have been done by elites because they want more stuff for themselves, so they get the common person to go for them. And what always rallies them is they feel your nationalistic pride. Don't you do it for the king? Do it for your nation. Do it for your people. And people get lost in that, and they commit atrocious crimes against humanity, all because they identify with a group identity that's been manufactured by elites. And this is a problem, because when the collective is an abstract, it's always an abstract, and it's never gonna have the definite features. It's not like an orange, that you could pick it up and look at it. It's something that you can only think about, and how you already think before that is going to influence how you think about it. Like, hermeneutical. Like, you come at it with your with your history and your life history, and that life history is going to influence how you see it. So because of that, you can see that it's weird. Now, that's why I say in this conceptualism, because I don't want to say it doesn't exist at all. It exists for us. We see it. We manipulate it. We can use it. It's a tool. It's an illusionary tool. But we have to recognize it for what it is and know that it's not reality. It's our illusion. And it might as well be a very useful illusion. It's an illusion that works for us. But it's an illusion nonetheless. And so when we identify ourselves, we cannot identify with the collective, because we're going to get duped. And that's how people keep getting duped. Because you identify with the group and that's yourself, and you don't think critically. You think, well, that's my group. My group can never be wrong. Instead of thinking just for yourself and questioning that. So that brings us to, of course, individualism. And if you notice, the individualism page is much longer than the collectivism page. I wonder why. And it's everything from existentialism to hedonism to objectivism to humanism has been influenced by individualism. Basically, you want to focus. The individualism stance says you want to focus when analyzing society at the individual. The individual is the locus of human society and existence, not the group, not the nation, not the peoples, but the person, the individual person. Each individual person is the building block. When someone tries to tell you that what reality really is not you, but some kind of you have to be like a super physicist, quantum mechanic person, or a super king, or super rich, or super famous, and then you're closer to reality. That where you are isn't reality. No, where you are, your consciousness, your awareness, that is the most fundamental point of reality. That is where it begins. And that's your reality. And your reality is all there is to you. So any other reality is only an abstraction. You're never going to get it. It's even worse than dreams, because dreams can come true in some respects. These are just like mirages. You get close to them and they fade away. You can't work towards them. So, to really grasp this, we have to understand that we need to start at the body and work our way out. To be to adhere to individualism, or to be sympathetic to it, to understand it, doesn't mean to get rid of all forms of collective identity. That's not it. Things that exist in this world, that persist in this world, exist and persist. Do so because they're useful in some respects. Even if some aspects of it may be destructive, it does something right in order to be around. So something like collectivism, which I feel is very destructive, is around because it gives people a certain sense of belonging and part of a group, and they do feel like their consciousness loses the boundaries, and they feel more inclusive with the universe in some respects, or with their group, which feels like the universe. And that makes it persist. But I think we can have that without giving it all away to it. You know, we can start from the individual, the body, and then work our way out. Work our way out from that. So we can have group identities, but they're anchored by an individual identity. And I think this is important to understand, because some people say, well, this is individualism, is just egoism. No, it's not egoism. It is, egoism is doing whatever you want for your own desires and needs despite other people. Where individualism is more about doing things you want to do in spite of other people. That is to say, you work with them and not through them as a means to get what you want. You get voluntary associations, and you find a way to make these kinds of relationships, as opposed to just manipulating people and deceiving them, which was what an egoist would do. So you see that there's a difference there, and I just don't buy it when people go, oh, it's just I'm not gonna make noise tonight. Have you always noticed people always do that? Sometimes they'll make up some person in the head, some the antithesis to their thesis, like, oh well, I think this, and then when they'll do their thesis, they'll be like, well, you should really consider this. Like it's just a ridiculous contrast. And I don't think it's conscious, and I see a lot of people do it. Okay, I'm going on a tangent. So the body is important, and you want to focus on it. So I want to over here take a look at one of my favorite public speakers. You see, I don't fucking care. By the way, thank you to Planet Union for making this video. Here he is, Terrence McKenna.
The body is a pre-cultural given. And coming with the body is this amazing thing which everyone wants to give away, throw away, get away from, called the felt moment of immediate experience. The felt moment of immediate experience. This is you, now, here, in your body, with the crescences, the crossing of trajectories of mental process, digestive process, metabolism, intent, income, emotional state, the felt presence of immediate experience, lodged in the body-mind system in the moment. That's who you are. That's what they can't take away from you. Whether they drag you away to prison, beat you, drug you, whatever they do to you, you will still have some kind of self-presence of experience until you drift into the darkness of non-entity. So there then, one can begin to build outward from that core and say, aha, so the stuff of understanding is not information passed by culturally validated coding systems among the primates at high chatter rates. In other words, the truth is not in the public space or the historical space. The truth is in the felt space of the body in the moment.
So as you can see, he elegantly describes exactly what I'm talking about in less than like a minute. It's the late great Terrence for you, the wordsmith, wonderful wordsmith. So, yes, the reality is not in the group space or the collective space. It's in your space, your individual space. That's where you start from. That's who you are. You're not the collective. You're an individual. Start from there. Your identity should always start from yourself. You are the nexus of the universe. You are. But you have to learn that the universe is not that abstract idea of everything outside of you. Your universe is everything that you are, that you experience. That's your universe. So you have to challenge the notion. So because when people say you're the universe, they think of the abstract. They're like, oh, I'm that thing outside me, that big empty space, and with the planets and the fireballs that are around. Yeah, that's it. No. Your universe is your perceptions, your memories, your futures, your hopes, your goals, your dreams, your fears, all these things. That's your universe. That's it. You're not anything else. Stop giving it all away. Don't give it all away. You can have a collective identity, but work outward from the body. Be anchored in the body. Be anchored in your consciousness, in your momentary, everyday experience. Your, like Terence said, your felt presence of moments of immediate experience. Now, I want to end with a look into a political movement that I feel is misunderstood by many people, but I think is the direction in which this country should move. So, real quick, everyone is familiar with the left-right spectrum of politics. What most aren't aware of is that there's another dimension to this, i.e., there's like another cross. So you have, let's say, one line going horizontally, and then you have another one going vertically, and they cross. That vertical line is another spectrum, right? And that is authoritarian, libertarian. So libertarian is not a right position, nor is it a left position. It's on a completely different spectrum that intersects the left-right spectrum. And so I guess I'll pull a quick thing of it. So as you can see, we have libertarian, authoritarian. So the left-right spectrum on the libertarian axis, you can have either one. But I think the country itself should move towards libertarianism, away from authoritarianism. There's no good in authoritarianism. Libertarianism, the idea of individual liberty, is so much more fruitful for society. That's what America is founded on, and America was exceptional. It led the world. It changed the world. We're not talking about today, but in the past, it was exceptional. And what made it exceptional was libertarian values enshrined in a Bill of Rights. Inalienable, not given by government, given by nature, by chance and pure circumstance. Just look at all the schools in libertarianism. This is a broad movement. I mean, there are so many factions. There are people who believe, there are libertarians that believe in taxing and welfare, for God's sakes. You would never think that. Libertarians that believe in welfare? Yeah. They're called bleeding heart libertarians. It's amazing. Libertarians that believe in some social government, others that believe in no government. It's varied. It's wide. It's a wide open field. It's not a little narrow concept of people have this like caricature that it's like, if you're a libertarian, you want to be alone. It's not it at all. Libertarians are all about trade, all about voluntary association. It's just that we have to identify that culture in society starts with the individual, and then that individual has inalienable rights. That's the only that's literally the only stipulation that a libertarian has across all its fields, that there's inalienable rights that we have. So, I just want to encourage people to look into libertarianism and think about it more, and try to incorporate values that reflect individual liberty in your life. I think it will do all of us better. I mean, what's wrong with things like self-responsibility? What's wrong with voluntary associations such as charities and donating? You know, people say you need the government to give out money. Why? It could just be you. But again, there's the libertarians that would disagree with that. But the idea is that individual liberty is what's the goal. It's the goal. You know, I really like this band. It's like dreaming or something. Well, like I said, I wasn't going to use this video as an in-depth analysis of any of these topics. It was just to show you my criticism of collectivism and try to make an argument for it. Like, I'm not going to get into all the different schools of libertarianism. Maybe another day. Maybe not. I don't know. So, that's basically it. Where are we? Oh shit, we're at 21 minutes already, okay. Well, this is Metal Self, and have a good one. Thanks for listening. Oh, by the way, if you please leave comments if you have any form of a comment, or you just want to say anything, just leave a comment. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you don't. Subscribe if you want, subscribe if you don't. Click and suggest, I don't know, do whatever you want. Just show if you have any interest, show it. Oh shit, I forgot I wanted to say something. Liberty is an axiom for all you thinking like, oh well, I want a good, good justification. I want an equation that proves it. Why liberty is perfect. Listen, it's my fucking opinion. It's my axiom. And if you understand what an axiom is, you can never prove it. And guess what? Everyone has a fucking axiom. Alright? Everyone has a fucking axiom. Liberty's my axiom. Alright? What's your axiom? An abstract ideal? Or the felt presence of of immediate experience that we all feel at all times? Yeah. Yeah, keep your axioms in the clouds, so to speak. fly flew into my throat. At a glacier's pace. Bye.